Hi, this is a video for IT 112. It's going to be for assignment 2 config. And in this assignment, we are going to create the database. We are going to do some things on the setup, and we're going to migrate the database. And then we'll upload it to GitHub. And the URL for the GitHub is for the assignment. Hopefully everything will go smoothly. Again, the Python Club is your assignment, and I'm doing the tech review for examples. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I have PG admin already launched. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a database. And I'm going to call it tech, let's do it all lowercase, tech review DB. So this will be our database. This takes just a second to do. And notice there is a tech review database. We'll go down to the schemas, which is where the tables are. Look at tables, and there are none. We will add some. When we migrate, it'll create some databases. I'm going to right-click on here, and I am going to go down to Query Tool, and I am going to create a user for this database that we can use in Django to access the database. So I'm going to create role. Let's just call it tech role with password. And I'm just going to make it p at ssw0rd1. And I'm going to give it login as a option there. And I'm going to create that role. Whoa, tech role already exists. Let's make it a tech review role. Okay, so it's been done. And then I am going to grant tech review role all privileges. Is it privileges? How do you spell privileges? Privileges. All right, on database tech review DB. Okay, so I'm going to run that. Just that one line. Grant tech review role all privileges on database tech review DB. That actually should be good. Let me look real quickly at our assignment when we go back to assignment 1 setup. I just want to see what I did with the syntax as quickly as possible. GitHub, alternate way. All privileges on database. Oh, I think I got... The problem isn't all, it's 2. All right. No. Oh, grant all privileges. Delete on database tech review to tech review role. I've had coffee, just not enough, I guess. That works. So what we've done is we've created a super user for tech review, but they only have access to tech review. This role can't look at any of the other databases, and so it can't do any harm outside of the one database it has permissions on. You do for Django pretty much have to give it all permissions, just so you know, and include the login. Okay, so I am going to go, so we've got the database, we've got the permissions. I am going to go here. I'm going to go back to, this gives you the roles here. We need to do settings.py, but this is the thing that we're going to change. But we're going to do a couple of other things too. We're going to change the database to the Postgres, but we're not going to do everything directly in here, and we're going to take the key out of here too, because it's dangerous having that in there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to say from decouple import config. Now there's a couple of things that we don't have that we need. We do not have decouple. We also don't have the driver for Python, Python and Postgres. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to add a terminal. Now I'm using the CMD, and you should too, because it is basically the PowerShell in Windows will not give you permissions a lot of times to do what you need to do. So we need to run it inside of the command shell. Sorry. So I'm going to do a quick, this takes it back one step. I need to activate the environment again. Or scripts activate. Again, this is Windows. So it's activated. Now, a couple of things that I'm going to do. I am going to do pip install Python. Trying to remember if it's Python underscore decouple. If that fails, nope, that was correct. So we've got decouple, and I will show you what decouple does in a moment. The other thing we need to install is Psycho PG2 binary. This is, weirdly, the driver for Postgres. Okay, so we've got those two things installed. Now we can do our changes up above, and you'll want the console running down here most of the time, just to let you know. So one of the things that I am going to do is I am going to, here in the tech review, the project level folder, I'm going to add a new file, and it's going to be settings.ini. Caps are important here, make it lowercase. And it needs to have an S on it, actually. Settings.ini. And I'm going to, in square brackets, write settings. Okay. I am going to do secret underscore key, colon. I am going to do DB name, colon. We're going to add values here in a moment. So the DB name we could add right now. That's tech review DB. DB user is tech review role. DB password is p at ssw0rd1, and DB host is localhost, and DB port, this is different on mine than yours because I have other database engines installed on this. Mine is, I'm going to show you where to find it. So I'm going to go back here. I am going to right click on my host. I'm going to look at properties and connection, and mine is 5434. Yours is probably 5432, just to let you know. So 5432. Well, I pasted it. Okay, so that is my settings file. And what we want to do with the settings file is make it get ignore. All right, so we don't want to post it up there because we don't want this kind of information to be available to anybody that looks at the GitHub. All right, this needs to be saved. One of the things you have to do is you do have to save all of your files. So we're going to go back to settings.py. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the string, the secret key. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to go to ini, going to paste it here. Couple of things. Wherever you see a %sign, you have to double it. I think that's the only %sign I see, and I think that's the only character that has to be doubled. Okay. So, we go back to setting, and again, this needs to be saved. I'm going to Control S to save. Going back to settings.py. Going to get rid of this and do config and then imprint secret underscore key. Debug is true, and if you once you actually deploy this, you would definitely want to turn that off, but we need it on. One of the things I need to do is register the installed app, so I'm going to do tech. Right? If you don't register the app, it doesn't know that it's there. And you will have all sorts of errors because it says the tech doesn't exist. All right, so the other thing we're going to change is the database. So instead of backend SQLite, we're going to say backends PostgreSQL. The name of our database is config DB name, and we close that. It's very important that each of these has a comma. All right, so the next thing that we needed was the user. Config DB user. Comma again. Password. DB password. Config DB in quotes DB password. The host config DB host. And lastly, port. DB port. So I'm very hopeful that this will all work. I'm going to save this. Okay, so again, what we've done, we did the INI, where we have all of our settings. We changed our settings.py to do the config, particularly with the secret key. We added tech to our installed apps, and we are adding the database fields. All right, so down here in the command line, I'm going to do CLS to bring it back to the top. I am going to do a CD tech review 2020. Winter 2020. It's actually going to be 2021. Oh well, it is what it is. I am going to do a manage Python manage Pi. And we're going to try to migrate. And it says that it migrated. So basically these are all the built-in tables. Later we'll make models and do things. So let's go to look and see if it actually did this. So what we're going to do is we're going to refresh the tables. And they are there. All the tables are in our new database. Now these are just built-in tables. These are not our own tables yet. These are things for keeping track of groups and authorizations and migrations, etc. Okay, so we've successfully completed everything except uploading this to the top. So I'm curious, let's see, I want to do settings in niche, open file, discard changes, stage changes, but I want to do it as an ignore. I'm just looking here for git ignore. I'm going to go to the command palette. Git add to git ignore. So I don't want pi there. I want this one. So we're going to go to the command and we're going to add to git ignore. And yes, I think so. Git ignore, I'm just going to look at this again. And Settings.ini is there. So I've added it to get ignore. So what I want to do is stage. Is everything staged? Got 12 things uploaded. Let's do a commit. And I'm going to say yes. I'm going to stage them all. This is going to be setup commit. I'm going to press enter. And then I'm going to push. Okay, so if I go here and I go to the tech review, let's go back, and that should refresh actually. So if I look at tech review and I look at settings, notice it has the tech, it has my database with the configs. All right, so all of that is good. And it doesn't have the settings.ini. It has been ignored. So it's not up there to give us any problems. One last thing, I'm not sure if it's in the assignment or not. Let's look real quickly. So let's look at the assignment. Not 1, but 2. So we do want to change the URLs. And I would do it last. I would do it before I migrate. So, I would do it after I migrate. So I'm going to change those URLs right now, and then we will recommit. So let's go here. And let's go to URLs. So one of the things we want to do is by path, we want to also do include. All right, and down here, we are going to path, and we're going to do tech. So, and we are going to do a comma, and we're going to include, and then in parentheses, tech.urls, and we'll do a comma after that again too. The URLs are basically, these are patterns that guide us to where we're going to go. Now, there is no URLs in tech. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a new file. It's going to be called urls.py, same as the other one. We're just directing it to the local one. This is good if you have multiple multiple changes here, multiple applications. So I'm going to do a couple of things. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. We're going to change it a little, but I'm going to go to the new URLs and going to paste that. Going to get rid of include. And I'm going to get rid of these 2 paths. All right, we just have an empty patterns now. We will add things there as we go. Now, I forgot to update this, so I am going to go here. See this little thing? This is for, I'm going to activate that. I'm going to commit it. So I need to give it a message for commit. URL redirect, and I'm going to enter that, and then I will push. All right, so when I go here and I go back to here and I do I'm just going to go back so it refreshes. I'm going to go to tech review. We look at the URLs, and it has the, it doesn't have the include. does have this one though. I forgot to include the other one in the update. So there was a change. I don't know that let's go back to this URLs. Yeah, I hadn't saved it, is why it wasn't done. So we'll add that, and then we'll push again. Did it push it? No, I have to commit. All right, now I can, so let's do enter. Okay, now I can push that up. I have more commits than I wanted, but when I go here to here and I do this again, now it has the include and it has the new one. So everything is up there. And again, all you have to do for every assignment, don't do it there. Go back to the outer folder and give me that. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go to assignment 2 here. So when you turn it in, it can do a website URL, and that's what you want to do. I don't really have a way to turn it in. It's because it's not published. The whole thing isn't published. But you just want to do the website URL as the option and post that in there. Alright, I'm going to end this video.